Man, today's maybe it's my sixth. Well, it is my 16th anniversary, and I'm pretty freaking pumped up. I had one call this morning, and you ever have something click? I just had something click, and so what's your lifetime value? And I've been interviewing a lot of financial advisors over the last 5-10 years because frankly, I have not been comfortable with how much money I need or we need in order to retire. And frankly, the number looked so big, I didn't believe that I could do it. And no financial advisor could actually make me feel comfortable with ever being able to achieve it. So here's what I did for most of my life. I just buried my head in the sand. And Andy McClish, one of my friends, finally helped me understand that. Yet here's the point of it. And we all know that we need to invest and save and stocks and blah, all that stuff. And, when we look at typical returns, let's look at a 10% return. 10% return, you're doubling your money every 7 years, yada, 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 yada. I digress. So a lot of us are sitting on some equity and we're looking at it and we're doing the math and we're like, how are we ever going to retire? And so we bury our head in the sand and we just try to earn more money and we do addition. Well, I just need to make more. And then your lifestyle goes up and addition leads to subtraction. It just does. Subtraction leads to multiplication. So EXP, just settle in. If you're friends with me, a lot of my story is going to be about EXP. A lot of my videos are going to be about EXP. You don't like it, that's okay. But let's talk about the math around EXP because I like math. If we look at the math around it, some of you have been watching us and it's been, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. When I joined back in 2016, we had less than 1,000 agents. Our stock was at 96 cents. So if we just look at the math between then and now, there's been a lot of math and a lot of things that have worked out well. And I've heard it all. Stock's not going to work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, if you don't join EXP at this standpoint, it's one of two things. You don't understand math or ego. It's math or ego, and here's why. If you want to set an appointment with me, we can do the math now on if you would have just been selling real estate here, what the math would look like if you just did what you did at your other company. And if you're good at real estate, chances are you can sell at EMAX, REMAX, EXP, Keller Williams, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So at this point, if you're not truly considering EXP, it's your limiting beliefs. It's your mindset. It's that stinky mindset because the math works there. Well, Hank, I'm comfortable and I just can't take the risk of changing. Well, guess what? That's why I have a freaking arrow tattooed on my forearm is because sometimes you know what you need to do? You need to do subtraction. When I left doing my old job, I was making a very good salary and I went backwards. I subtracted. Subtraction leads to multiplication. Now with betting on myself, the return on the investment. So on January 1st, 2016, we had $86,000 cash. So if you look at that $86,000 of equity, and if we would have played it out at 4 or 5%, or even say 10%, how much money would we have now? Instead, here's what I did. I bet on me. I'm the best freaking investment that I could have made. And so are you. You're the best investment. So why don't you bet on yourself and raise your financial thermostat? And the only way that you can do that is by understanding the math. See, Glenn has built a model where we can start to understand the math on what the value is of listing agents. Meaning we have evidence now. When I started in March of 2016, we had like hypothesis of what's going to happen. Now, through studying numbers, I can look back and I can look at Dave Gagnon's numbers. I can look at Hank's numbers. I can look at Rich Tomasini's numbers. I can look at my numbers over the last year. We have math on if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. Now, going in 2021, I'm not starting over. If you're at another company, you're starting over and you're only as good as your next 90 days when it comes to real estate because you keep trading dollars for hours. Meaning you have a client in a referral-based business. They might refer you, yet you still need to go perform a task in order to continue to get paid on that. So at this point, if you're not looking at EXP and you haven't won the game and you don't have a life event going on, I'm going to call it out. You're either a freaking egomaniac or you're a freaking moron and you don't understand math. This is the greatest gift that we as real estate agents have ever been given. And if you can't see this, you're a freaking moron. A moron. And here's what I want you to do. Watch this video a year from now, and some of you are going to choose to come over, and some of you aren't, and we'll look at the math. And I have a pretty good indication that agents that come over and just sell real estate, by naturally selling real estate, you're going to be getting stock. You're going to have people trip over them because of your influence, ask you about joining EXP. You're going to have rev share coming in. You're going to be in a completely different spot. Yet some of you are going to be like, well, hey, this or that or that. Keep arguing about your limitations. If you want to continue to argue about your limitations and that EXP isn't real, I can't help you anymore. Freaking unfriend me, because you're probably going to be in the same freaking spot a year from now as you were a year ago, and a year ago before that, and 5 years before that, because unless you do something different, you're still going to be fucked. You have the answer right in front of you. It's EXP. The math works. And if you don't get that, like, I'm going to end up going freaking bald trying to convince you. I'm stopped trying to convince you. I can show it to you. I can't do it for you. I can't do the work for you. I can show you the math. See, here's the thing is most people who aren't winning aren't willing to go and do the freaking work. And I'm losing my freaking mind that you can't look in the mirror and bet on yourself. Like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm done giving prescription. I'm going to start pressing on that pain point of the reality. If you don't do something different, you are screwed. You can't out-earn stupid. You can't. Trust me, you tried. If you just keep doing addition, keep selling more houses, 5 years from now when we talk, I'm going to be the meanest son of a gun you've ever met. And I'm going to be, I told you so. Or come over with us. We'll lock arms. I mean, I was on a call with Adam Bailey and Rich Tomasini, not even in my rep share lines right now, in studying their numbers, studying what they did. You know what they did? They just figure out activities and went to work. There's nothing special about them. Nakia, I got a new best friend, Nakia Evans, 106 days into EXP, and she's brought on 22 people in her front line. So you know what? You can argue all you want for your limitations, yet this train's leaving the town. And I'm telling you, if you want to get on this train, let me know. I'm probably going to be pretty aggressive with you. I'm probably going to be pretty rough on you because I care about you. I'm going to ask that you do the work. It's not going to be a lot of work. We're talking 3 to 5 hours a week if you want to be average. Maybe 5 to 10 hours a week if you want to be exceptional. Until we get through the success code, we figure out the skill set, time on task, experimentation to get the victory until we figure out the activities. Once we figure out the activities, we might increase that from 5 to 10 hours a week to 20 hours a week. Sarah and I are going all in. When we look at the growth of the company, we just crossed 37,000 agents in our company. Mark my words, I think we'll be hitting 100,000 agents in the next 12 to 18 months. Why? Because Gary Keller wrote a great book, The One Thing, and he talks about the hockey curve. Unless you're under a rock, you can see that EXP is in the hockey stick. In the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to grow, double our company. Well, Hank, we're too late to the game. You know what? Stop. Stop with your limiting beliefs. Stop with your stinky thinking. And you know what? Come over here, sell real estate, and you're wrong. Guess what? You're in the same freaking place. You're in the same freaking place. Then you can go back. But here's what I know. There's some of you that freaking regret not coming over when you first heard about it. I regret not betting on myself, not letting my limiting thinking. And if you're already watching this, we're just going to go on another tangent. I'm only at 625 agents because you know what? My stinky thinking. You know, we had this attraction pledge and I was frustrated because I didn't believe that there was teeth in there. And I was seeing it through a lens where, you know what? They're not enforcing the attraction pledge, blah, 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 blah. No, Hank, you know, you were looking at an excuse as to why you weren't going all in. Oh, I hit my numbers and my numbers aren't adding up. Yeah, because Glenn was overpaying us. So when you saw, hey, EXP is bringing in more revenue, yet they're not having more profits because Glenn was erring on the side of making it right, overpaying us, and then we ended up getting the buffer, and now everything's there. I regret that I let my stinking thinking stand in the way of me being a double over at. So if you're with me, I'm sorry. My mindset was holding me back. Not any longer. Not any longer. I'm going to turn the volume up, and I just got a message. I put on my profile, professional network marketer. You know why? Go read this book right here. Go read this book and get through the chapter of where it talks through business models, where it talks about being an employee, where it talks about being a business owner, then where it talks about a network marketer. I have 625 agents that I know on January 1st. I know in predictability how much income Sarah and I can look at. That gives us freedom. For the first time in our life, we're walking into January 1st with freedom. Why? Because Glenn has created a model within real estate that is not being a 1099. Hank, when you watch this 1 year from now, if you haven't doubled your numbers, you suck. And if you haven't doubled your numbers, Hank, here's what. You focused on drama somehow. Focus on the math. Focus on the people that want to do it. Don't focus on the people that can do it. Like you can't save everyone. So throw them a lifeboat, throw them the oars, but they got to row. And if the people are arguing for their stinky thinking, well, yeah, but Hank, you're Hank. No, don't say you're Hank. You're not willing to be consistent like Hank. All it is math. You go to the gym, you eat right, you'll get in shape. It's not rocket science. So Hank, if you're not at 1,250 agents 1 year from now, you know what? Get your head out of your rear end. What the heck have you been doing? And yes, these videos are more of a journaling for me because I make predictions. And if you look at the predictions that I've made over the last 5 years, I've been pretty spot on. Pretty spot on. I'm giving up my coaching income, not giving it up. I'm still keeping some. Yeah, we're going in a different direction. Why? Because I've never been so clear on something in my life. We're going to 100,000. If you're at EXP, you better get that number in your head. We are going to 100,000. 100,000. Here's what I want you to ask yourself. How can I pick up the chain? How can I pick up this chain? How can I pick up this chain? All you need to do is hang on. We'll be leading it. We've got great leaders like Dave Kennard, Glenn Sanford, Jason Gessing, Stacy Onan, James Bramble. We are at the front leading the chain. And you know what? Guess what? It might break. Jump on there and hang on. And then once you get your feet underneath you, help pull it with us. And if you help pull it with us, we can pull a load like you wouldn't believe. We're going to 100,000. We are. We're going to 100,000. You mark my words. And for all of you that watch this video and you didn't jump on board, so sad. I did everything that I could to try to tell you. So what I'd like for you to do is I'd like you to go to your spouse and say, hey, my stinking thinking stopped me from jumping on this train. Like, you know, one of the biggest things when people die is the regret, the pain of regret. Like, you probably already regret that you haven't jumped on this train. It's not too late. I can tell you, your timing's never been better. All right. It's my anniversary. I'm taking the day off. We're gonna go have fun. It's 16 years of marriage. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of therapy. We've had our ups and downs. And I got to tell you, I've never been more excited about moving forward with my wife. I just love her. No big gifts or big hooplas because you know what? We got the greatest gift. And this will sound cheesy and I don't care. I love my marriage. I don't need to celebrate on one day as if, hey, 16 years. Facebook, look, we're 16 years. No, I celebrate my wedding, my bride every single day. I love her to death. Is it perfect? Nope. However, I'm betting on us. Good God. Corporate, if you're watching this and I went a bit too over, just let me know. I'll delete it. Goodbye.